So continuation with the principles of midday meal program. So meal act as a supplement, it is not a substitute. Meal should supply at least one third of total energy requirement and half of the protein need. So underline this aspect, that is meal that is being provided from the schools act as a supplement, and this is the requirement that is being met by provision of this meal, that is the one third of total energy requirement and half of the protein need is being met through this midday meal. Cost of the meal should be reasonably low, and because it is locally available foods are being used for the preparation, so that reasonably it is low cost. Meal should be such that it can be prepared easily in schools. No complicated cooking procedure or process should be involved, because it has to be cooked in the school campus. So it must be easily cooked one. So, cooking process must be simple. It should not be too complex one. As far as possible, locally available food should be used. So this is about the principles that is followed for this midday meal program. So this is a model menu for midday meal. Foodstuff, that is cereals and millets, 75 gram. It is being provided. Pulses means 30 grams. Oil and fat, 8 grams. Leafy vegetables, 30 grams, and non-leafy vegetables, 30 grams. So how the suggestions for preparation of meal. So what are the things they have to keep, the management has to keep in mind while preparing midday meal, that is food grains stored away from moisture, so that it sometimes you might have heard in the newspaper that food grains are spoiled, storing in a unhygienic environment, or issues, fungus happen to the food. So in that way, a lot of issues you might have heard in newspaper that happened. It's happening also. So it is very important that it has to be stored in a neat area, and the food grain must be free from moisture. Use whole wheat so that nutrition value can be maintained for the food that is provided. Rice unpolished one is used, because polished one is having lack of nutritional values. Cereal pulse ratio mainly 3:1 to 5:1. Cereals, that is 3% and pulse is 1. So in that way this ratio is maintained while preparing the food. Single dish meal, that is broken wheat upama. It contains nutritional value of broken wheat, and also it have vegetables. So in the pulses also. So in that way it must be a meal that there should not be a complicated, and try to provide it which include all the nutritional values. So that is called a single dish meal. Sprouted pulses, sprouted pulses are used using left out rice water. So once this rice is being cooked, this water is used for cooking these pulses, that by nutritional values are being maintained. Fermentation increase the nutritional value, so that idli is another option. Avoid overcooking, reheating the oil. Use iodized salts, cooking done with lid. So these principles are followed while cooking the meal for midday meal program. While cooking, these are things that has to be maintained by the cook, or management must know that these are being followed, so that a nutritional value will not be lost, and with the complete nutrition it is being provided for the kids, and lets the kids in the coming future will be highly nourished without having any nutritional deficiency disorders. If there is no nutritional deficiency, if the kids are very healthy, then they will be very productive in all the aspects. So let us build such a good healthy citizens in future. So that is all about community nutrition program. I hope it is clear. Thank you all.